Go zoom, render fast, rotate. Let's grab it and zoom it around. Great. So we can take a look at that.
At the height.
Yeah, it's like a little height thing. So that's under 3D rendering, so we can get rid of that too.
Okay.
Back to where it was. And then
Height is not proportional, right?
I'm sorry?
The height is not.
It's not proportional. It's working off of intensities. Be careful with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's grid bar is not that.
Yeah. It's working out brightness.
Yeah.
And then Robo Stage, you don't have that for right now. So that was like if we use the flow chart. So we did the spectra, we did our imaging, and the next one would be mapping. But realistically, we could also go in here, like I didn't go over your file, like save as, for instance, right? So this is getting saved, and this holds true in everything. Everything's getting saved as whatever extension it is in our software. Right now, an image is a .imx extension. So it's saving it as a .imx, but it's also automatically shooting it out as a JPEG too. So it's doing 2 saves in 1. All right, so that's a really nice feature. And also if I do file, see what's a save EDS dataset? I can go save EDS dataset, and it's saying, what would you like to save? And I can just say, I want to save all of it, and I'll give it a name. Okay, like let's say Jim. Yeah, I'll replace it. So I'll just save everything as Jim. And let's say like all this work that I've done here, because I've got all this windows open, maps, all this stuff. If I kill all this stuff, and if I come in tomorrow or whenever I come in, and I want to, I want to look at that job I was doing. That just get rid of all this stuff.
Seems like grids are made of copper.
Yeah. I can go back and go file open,
There's really
and I'm going to select.
Yeah, so they can see that.
I'm going to select all the files, and I'm going to find that Jim, wherever it is in here. Here it is, Jim. See Jim? Double click on him, and here comes that whole job that you just did.
That's pretty nice.
So you just saved and you just recalled that whole entire job,
Wow.
which is kind of nice.
It is nice.
This is what I was talking about, the rhodium on all the edges.
Yeah, you see that? The really
RH for rhodium. Here's your copper.
That's a copper.
Carbon in the
blue is
background.
copper.
What's in the background? What's red?
What's red is
Carbon.
carbon.
Oh, red.
So if you look at your image here, right, all this stuff is carbon.
tape.
Right, it's carbon tape. It's sitting on it.
Oh.
Yep. So here's your sample.
What's the green?
Green is oxygen. It's oxidized a little bit.
Metal or something.
Blue is copper, and your pink is rhodium. Again, I acquired this for only a short amount of time. You guys would have done this for a lot longer and would have filled in a lot better. But so that's all we really gone over is
Pretty cool.
spectra and mapping, and we played in imaging. I'm sorry, spectra and imaging. We played mapping through the imaging window. So if we start from scratch again, meaning the software is going to open as such. Let's kill all the windows. This is the way the software window opens, right? So what do you really want it to do? You have to tell it initially, right? So whether you want to collect a spectra, right? This is the home window. Whether you want to collect a spectra or an image or a map, it's what you want it to do. Or you can just go through the flow chart. Hey, what would you like to do? So usually for mapping, this is what I like doing. I like collecting a spectra of everything. And then I label it all. And I just hit stop. And then as soon as I do that, I'll go right to my map window, and I'll just go acquire map. And because I labeled it, it'll start filling in. Realistically, I could have just acquired the map without labeling anything. It already spent time looking at every pixel, and I could have just added all the elements according to the spectra. Because I could remove the copper, I could remove the oxygen, I could remove whatever I want. And I could add elements at will, as long as there's peaks for them. I could add any element I like. Which is really, really powerful. Just to let you know, other X-ray systems don't do this stuff. Anyway, it's just good. It's just good to know. This is like a work on the fly system. Like it just does things immediately. Like you would have had to stop that acquisition, rename a new job, and restart it. This is doing it, just running on the fly. So this is the best way that I like acquiring maps. Like I like labeling, and then I like go through acquire the X-ray map. And so if we do use our interactive help window, acquiring the X-ray map, right, and just start flow charting this thing down, let me just hit stop. So you just stop it. So if I just start flow charting this thing down, and I go,
Thanks a lot for help, but everyone meeting actually.
No sweat.
This is great. Yeah. So,
good meeting you.
Is your guy coming on Thursday?
Yes, I mean I got David's guy.
Yeah. We'll go
Thanks.
over whatever.
This is great.
We'll have
Thank
more
you.
training sessions just to let you know.
Awesome. Yeah.
So there's a lot. There's a lot here. So now, after I've acquired this map, Alex, and if I go to the flow chart, right, I can go view map data, which is really, really powerful. This is what you want to use, because when you view the map data, wherever I come here, see how intensity is chosen? Well, I want to choose concentration, and see how it's a spot? if I left click my mouse anywhere and I start moving this around, see how the spots are moving in every window? Depending on how long I acquire this for, it should populate and give me percentages. Well, I can go rectangle, and I can come in here and I can draw a rectangle like up right in that little area right there, and it'll give me numbers of what 6% rhodium up there, right? So it's giving me numbers of what I'm looking at over there, right? Or I can come in here and I can go freehand, and I can do a circle in there, and it'll give me the numbers of what I'm looking at in there. It's a really powerful feature. And then also, flow charting this down, I can go overlay. So if I go overlay, let's throw the SEM image up. Great. Show me where the rhodium sits. Great. Change the intensity levels. Right? Show me where the copper is. Great. Change the intensity levels. And you're overlaying all the elements on top of each other. You know, throw the carbon in there too for that matter.
Can you overlay 2 maps? For example, you save 2 projects, right? You have 2 maps.
You could have 2 maps open to compare them,
Yeah.
but overlay one map on top of another map, realistically, is kind of, because you're already mapping it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just get those elements, you know, that you told it to.
I see. Because this is generated for this map, the elements are analysis.
That's right, for this exact one.